puts his good eyes on that one to hold off. Another swing, a nice cut. He fouls it back over the fence. That's going to make it 2-2. The pitch from Tucker. Breaking ball outside. I'm sorry, now we're at 2-2. Correction there as Buchanan waits for the next pitch. And outside. Takes his base. I think I had it right the first time. It was actually a full count on that last pitch. So Jordan Buchanan walks and becomes the first base runner for Georgia here today with 2 outs. Now we've got a little bit of a discussion as to he actually brings Buchanan back from first. Buchanan thought that account was full. He took his base. Now we've got some discussion between the home plate umpire. All right, now they get it straightened out. They do allow Buchanan to take his base. Butterflies here as we have the opening round Majors Division Dixie Youth World Series baseball game. Now we have Denver Bryant stepping in, number 7 for Georgia. He's a right-handed hitter, tries to call time, and he is given time. All right, I've here. This is Denver Bryant. She has taken the batter's box here. I'm glad that I was corrected there. I want to make sure I get that right, especially for all you folks listening from Georgia today. A swing and a miss. And now the count is 0-2 on Miss Denver Bryant. Drew Tucker trying to finish out this half of the inning. And it's a ground ball to the shortstop. He gets the ball over to second baseman, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning for Mississippi there. That was Cole Tolbert making a nice play. Clay Hill, the second baseman, for the 3rd out of the top of the first inning. Folks, again, we're glad that you're joining us here on JockJive. We appreciate you being with us. This is Mike Vaughn. Glad to be a part of this broadcast as we get ready for great baseball action here in the Dixie Youth World Series this weekend. Of course, these teams, good way to be here with us in Lexington, South Carolina. Tony Moody's Georgia team comes from Albany, Georgia. And head coach Ronnie Talbert brings his Mississippi crew up from Laurel, Mississippi. Now taking the mound for Georgia is number 19, Jordan, the pitcher. He's a left-hander and will take his spot as he an armband off, and we'll get that corrected and get back for a couple more warm-up tosses as Mississippi gets ready to have their first time at bat today. First up will be Jamari Deese, number 2. He's playing right field today for Mississippi. And he will have the first opportunity to step into the batter's box for Mississippi. He's a right-handed batter and is excited to try to get on the base pad for his team and lead off in a big way. The infielders for Georgia come together at the pitcher's mound. They give their pitcher some encouragement as Buchanan gets ready to deliver for Georgia. On deck for Mississippi will be Preston Morris, awaiting his turn in the on-deck circle as Jamari Deese steps in. It's high and outside. That'll be ball 1. All right, as action continues.
It's a good short. Thanks.
And D steps back in, awaiting the pitch. It's low. Oh, he calls that a strike. It looked a little low from my point of view. But peeks it in there against Jamari Deese. This one's high. And it'll bring the count to 3-1. As Buchanan faces his first batter, the left-hander now gets set. He winds and throws right down the middle. It's popped up to the infield. It's called by second baseman Hill, number 17. Second baseman number 6. That is Greg Lott. Nice put out.
Second hitter, number 20, Preston Morris.
Now coming up, Preston Morris for Mississippi, number 20. He's the center fielder. Bats from the left side. The ball comes in high over Morris's head. It'll be 1-0 the count. Here, the second batter coming up against the Georgia team. Morris gets set, awaits the pitch. It's high and inside. He takes a step back. Nice eye there to avoid that pitch. As Buchanan is working on his control here early in the first inning. He brings this as a nice pitch. It's popped up to the right side. Second baseman Lott calls it, and he has it for the second out. Now 2 away for the Georgia team.
Batting for Mississippi, number 6, shortstop Cole Talbert.
As number 6, Cole Talbert steps in for the Mississippi team. Cole playing shortstop for Mississippi today. He waits the pitch. First pitch is a little high, called ball 1. I think Buchanan was thinking that was right down the middle there. As he winds for the second pitch. It's low and outside. That'll be ball 2. 2-0 against Cole Talbert here. Of course, Jordan Buchanan, the pitcher here for Georgia, was the lone base runner for his team in the top half of the inning. He winds and pitches. It's still, oh, nope. He gets this one right there on the inside top corner. And the count now at 2-1 as Talbert steps back in. Number 6 trying to get the first base runner on the field for Mississippi. This one is high and away, and the count goes to 3-1. Talbert looks over down the third base line to get his signs here. Buchanan steps back up on top of the hill, winds and delivers. Nice cut by Talbert. Gets a piece of it back to the screen. That'll bring us to a full count here, 3-2. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. This first game of the Majors Division here, the Dixie Youth World Series. As Buchanan comes set, winds and delivers right down the middle. Talbert fights it off. Cole Talbert getting some good looks at Buchanan now as he digs back into this right-handed batter's box. Mississippi comes in today with their red jerseys, white and blue accent. Buchanan delivers. It's outside, and Talbert will be the first base runner for Mississippi. Now with 2 outs, 1 man on first. Number 10, Jack Parker.
Number 10, Jack Parker.
Parker comes in as a left-handed batter, playing first base today for Mississippi. Pitch and a snap throw over to first base to see if Talbert is paying attention, and he was. Jack Parker, the current batter, had a nice stretch and put out in the top of the first inning for the first out of the ball game. Now Buchanan winds, swing, nice lick to right field. He goes back, right fielder, and it is gone. Home run for Jack. Here to get the scoring started in this first round.
Please return the home run ball to the press box.
That puts Mississippi up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning with 1 out left on the board. They've still got some opportunity to do some more damage here in the first. Jordan Buchanan making his way back to the pitcher's mound and communicating with his players. Felt like he had done a pretty good job there on Jack Parker. As Cade May steps in, number 31 for Mississippi, the third baseman. He awaits the first pitch low and away for Buchanan. The count now at 1-0. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first, but Jack Parker making a big noise here to get things started for Mississippi. Right fielder James drifted way back trying to get a handle on that one from Parker, but it was too much to handle over the right field fence. Now the next pitch comes outside from Buchanan, and that'll be 3-0 on the count as Cade May awaits the next pitch. This one comes in right down the middle, first called strike as May looks over to the third base coach for some more signs. It's now 3-1. Buchanan trying to hang in here and get this last out. This one's high and away, and Cade May will take his base at first.
Batting 6 for Mississippi, number 44, Carson Wade.
Now Coach Moody for Georgia calls his team together, calls a timeout, and wants to try to get them encouraged to do their best here to finish out this bottom of the first inning.
Download today from the Google Play and Apple App Store. Go to DYB.
Coach Moody discussing strategy with the players from Georgia, keeping them motivated. I tell you what, it's going to be tough here in this heat today to keep these. We do have a nice breeze coming in from the left field fence. Hopefully we'll keep these guys cooled off enough. A couple of the Georgia players with their heads hanging a little bit, and Coach Moody's trying to get them fired back up. It's early in this ball game, still plenty of time to make up those 2 runs that Jack Parker earns 2 RBIs there early in this ball game with a big home run to right field, as he also brought in Cole Talbert. Now stepping in, Carson Wade, number 44, the right-handed batter, takes the first pitch right down the middle for strike 1. Buchanan responding in a strong way to his coach's motivation, brings the first pitch with some heat. Now awaiting pitch number 2. Inside, backs Carson Wade off the plate just a little bit there. A little bit of a wake-up call for number 44 as he steps back in. Wade, one of the players that's just batting right now, not with a field position yet. The next pitch is low. That'll make it 2-1. Buchanan winds the pitch. Low and away again. Still struggling a little to find that strike zone. Oh, he called that a strike. It is now 2-2. That ball is hit to the right. Like it may drop, and it does. The throw comes in all the way to third with the shortstop backing up there. It appeared that the right fielder for Georgia, James, number 22, might be able to get in to pick that one up, but it does fall in for a base hit. Now stepping in to the batter's box for Mississippi, this will be Denver Westbrook, number 4. He's the catcher for Mississippi. Looks over to get his sign. He'll bat from the right-handed position as Buchanan gets set. That one is high and outside. Buchanan trying to settle in and finish things off. for Georgia here in the bottom of the first inning. The score is, it's a deep drive to center field, but the center fielder Hopkins, number 3, is there to haul it in for Georgia. And third out of this first inning. We'll go to the second inning. Your score now is Georgia 0 and Mississippi 2 off the big home run by Mr. Jack Parker. Folks, just to remind you, you can receive scores, view brackets, teams, and much more with the DYBWS mobile app. Download the app today from the Google Play Apple App Store, depending on where you get your applications for your smartphone. Go to dybws.org for more information and track all that's going on with our action here from Lexington, South Carolina. Denver Westbrook on that fly center field ends the inning for the Mississippi team, and now Georgia will come back up to bat. They had 4 batters in the first inning. As we get ready for the second inning, Drew Tucker takes the mound again. Mississippi had a good performance, allowing no runs, no hits, and only 1 walk. And your score so far, Georgia 0, Mississippi the home team. Coming in from Laurel, Mississippi under head coach Ronnie Talbert.
Place your order for team flags and DVD of all your games today. The Southern Sports photo booth is located between fields 7 and 8. Southern Sports, nobody covers Dixie like we do. Batting for Georgia, the top of the second, number 11, Caleb Dowell.
You can see from our webcam here on JockJive that it's a sunny day. We do have some scattered clouds that bring a little bit of shade here and there. The field's shaded right now for a few moments. Slight breeze coming in from left field. As Dowell steps in for the first, Tucker's pitch is low and away. But I believe that might have been called a strike. Caleb Dowell, the first baseman, number 11, standing in for the second pitch from Tucker. This one is low, and it'll bring the count even at 1-1. Dowell looks over for the sign, awaits the wind and the pitch. This one's outside, and it'll be 2-1. This is Dowell's first appearance today. He was on deck as Georgia got put out in the top of the first inning. Ready for his turn to make some noise for Georgia. And this one's low and away. It'll be 2-1. Sorry, make that 3-1. Tucker winds and delivers. He gets the call. Looked a little low from this vantage point, but that'll bring it full 3-2 as Dowell will have to make a decision here on this next pitch. The wind by Tucker, the throw. This one's outside. Dowell gets a free pass down to first base and opens up in a good way for Georgia here in the second. Now Keyshawn Hayes steps in, number 14. He's playing third base today for Georgia. He's going to bat from the right-handed batter's box as Drew Tucker winds and delivers the first pitch. This one bounces. It's going to give Dowell a chance to get to second. The throw, but he's in safely. Catcher Denver Westbrook bobbled just a little bit there as he was trying to come up with the ball. Didn't realize that Caleb Dowell was on his way to second. Dowell not extremely fast speed, but he did get there in time as the throw came into the shortstop. Now it's ripped into right field. Dowell will make his way to third as Keyshawn Hayes just nails one to right field. It bounces one time before right fielder Deese, number 2, is able to come up with it, gets the ball in quickly, and now we have runners on the corners with no outs as Antonio James stands in for Georgia. This one's going to be low and outside. Mississippi leads 2-0 right now, but Georgia is threatening with runners on the corners and no outs. Right fielder Antonio James awaits the second pitch. It's a called strike on the outside corner. That'll even it up at 1-1. Back to that rip by Keyshawn Hayes. He waited on his pitch and really made it hum out to right field. And now Antonio James with a swing and a miss. That's going to put him behind in the count at 1-2. As we're here in the top of the second. This one is fouled off to the right side. No outs here in the top of the second. Antonio James fighting off the pitch there. As Drew Tucker settles in, the count 1-2. Tucker delivers. This one's high, but he gets James to chase it. Number 22, Will Fan, there for the first out of the inning.
Now batting for Georgia, number 6, second baseman Greg Lott.
Drew Tucker in good form now as he faces the next batter. The wind, the delivery, a little high and inside. That'll be a ball. Number 6 steps in. This is Greg Lott. Had some good fielding performance in the last inning. Now awaits the second pitch. This one also high and inside. It'll be 2-0. Drew Tucker with the wind and the pitch. This one's a little bit low on the outside corner, but he gets the call. Now 2-1. Tucker keeping this game moving very well. He does not take a lot of time. Now the next pitch, a swing and a miss. That's going to even it up at 2-2. Greg Lott trying to get these runners home to even this thing up as he has Dowell on third. He's at first. The pitch from Tucker. This one's low and outside. Catcher Westbrook making a nice play to come up with that one. Gets it back to his pitcher. Tucker steps off the back of the hill, takes a minute to gather himself. And now back up in ready. The wind, the pitch, the delivery right down the middle. It's down the first base line. It gets by the first baseman. This will bring at least one home. Now the throw to second. And Antonio James is tagged out as he tries to take an extra base. He does get Dowell home. And Keyshawn Hayes will remain at third.
For Georgia, number 8, Alex Ingram.
Now that'll be 2 outs here in the top of the second. Drew Tucker already back to action. Winds, throws. This one's a little bit high. Standing in for Georgia is Alex Ingram. Second pitch, a swing and a miss. That evens the count to 1-1. Alex Ingram, the left fielder, number 8. Trying to get this next run home to even up the score. It's now 2-1. He bounces one to first base. First baseman comes up with it and beats him to the bag. That was number 10, Parker, with a nice play to end the inning for Georgia. But Georgia does gain a little bit of ground there on the base hit by Greg Lott. So now your score, Georgia 1, Mississippi 2, as we head into the bottom of the second inning. Coach Ronnie Talbert's Laurel, Mississippi team looking to add some more here as they take the offensive part of the field for this bottom of the second inning. Buchanan back in as pitcher for Georgia, number 19. A little bit shaky there in the first inning, but we'll see if he can settle in here and keep his team on the comeback trail. They're going to try to hold Mississippi right where they are with 2 runs.
Nearly half of all injuries sustained by middle school and high school students.
Stepping in for Mississippi here in the bottom of the second will be second baseman Clay Hill.
In one sport exclusively are advised to take at least 2 breaks from that sport each year. It does not have to be a period of complete rest for a child to try something else that involves different muscles so you can avoid overuse injuries.
As the warm-up balls come in from the field now, and Georgia gets ready to defend. Buchanan calls his infielders to the mound for a little bit of pep talk, getting some motivation going. Their defense.
Number 17.
There's some high fives, and now the fielders go back to their positions as number 17, Clay Hill, steps in for Mississippi. The wind and the delivery from Buchanan, a swing and a miss by Hill, out in front, 0-1. Now it's a pop-up over on the left side, shortstop for Georgia. Bryant makes a diving catch to try to come up with it, doesn't quite get there. The ball was actually real close to the left foul line, and Bryant makes a great attempt, number 7, from his shortstop position, but he's not able to get it, and that'll give Clay Hill a base and an opening base runner for Mississippi here in the bottom of the second. Now up number 29, Dawson Holder, as Buchanan winds and throws. This one comes in a little bit high. Georgia now has a new first baseman.
A new first baseman for Georgia, number 1, Isaac Moody.
Isaac Moody has now moved over to first base for Georgia, taking the place of Caleb Dowell, who was the player able to score the run in the last inning. Buchanan now winds into. That'll be a strike as 42, the catcher, comes up and feigns a throw to first base. Here's a rip right up the middle, makes it through to the center fielder. He gets the ball in quick. He'll hold the first runner there at second, as Dawson Holder adds another base hit here in the bottom of the second. Now 2 runners on for Mississippi. Clay Hill stands in on second, Dawson Holder at first, and Case Matthews, number 12, comes in to bat for Mississippi. This one is high and wide. It gets away from the catcher, and both runners will advance now. Second and third on the base pad for Mississippi as they are threatening here in the bottom of the second. Matthews, number 12, not holding a field position right now, but looking to do some damage as he stands into the batter's box. The right-hander waits, a swing and a miss. That'll even the count up at 1-1 as these runners, base runners for Mississippi, are ready to add to their count. Their lead now 2-1 over Georgia. Matthews holds off on that pitch. It's high and inside, and that'll bring it to 2-1. Buchanan now seems to be picking up the pace a little bit from the pitcher's mound. He winds and delivers. This one is fouled back to the screen right above us here behind home plate. Coach Ronnie Talbert giving his batter some encouragement to stay in there, hang in tough, and take advantage of these 2 runners for Mississippi. The wind, the delivery, it's low. Number 42, Damon Polite, comes up, grab there to keep the ball from getting past him. He doesn't want another one to get by him with this runner threatening from third and another behind him at second. Buchanan with the wind, the pitch. It's low and away. And Case Matthews will take his base. That's going to load him up.
Now batting for Mississippi.
For Cade McNeil.
Number 22, Cade McNeil.
Cade McNeil seeing his first opportunity to bat for Mississippi. He's one of the extra batters on this team right here in the second inning. He comes in with some size. He's looks like to be one of the tallest players on this incorrect, so trying to make sure I've got that straight. There are no outs here in the bottom of the second. Ducks on the pond in Lexington, South Carolina, and we're going to have a new pitcher come in for Georgia. Looks like it's going to be number 14, Keys. He was at third base, and we will see who will move over and take his place at third. Keyshawn Hayes.
For Georgia, number 14, Keyshawn Hayes.
Number 3, Cameron Hopkins moves over to take third base, and Buchanan will go out to center field.
Scholarship program is available to participate.
Keyshawn Hayes now getting his warm-up tosses, and he's ready to take the field against Cade McNeil. Number 22 now stands in as Hayes prepares to wind the pitch. A swing and a McNeil. A different style pitcher that we see here in Keyshawn Hayes has a little bit more of a powerful release here. He's looking at the batters from a different perspective with a little more height. He now comes with the second pitch, and this one is fouled off down the left base line. Hayes working to recover after the bases have on 2 base hits and a walk by Mississippi. Hill, Holder, and Matthews doing their best to try to get more runs scored for Mississippi. And Cade McNeil wants to do his part in bringing them home. Now gets some instructions from Coach Talbert and steps back into the right-handed batter's box. Tucker wanting to help himself out here from the batter's box and see if he can bring in a runner or two to increase their lead now at 2-1 over Georgia. Hayes delivers, and he gets the call on the outside corner. Count now 1-1. Number 1 stands back in the batter's box. Hayes comes set, winds and delivers, and another strike on the outside corner. The count now 1. Well, I tell you, Clay Hill standing there at third, he is anxious to get in and across this plate. Drew Tucker now awaits the pitch from Keyshawn Hayes. That one's tight. Maybe gives Drew Tucker a little bit of a shave there. Keyshawn now set, delivers. This one also inside. And he gets the swing and the miss. That'll be another strikeout there. Keyshawn Hayes comes in and strikes out his first 2 batters.
Number 2, Jamari Deese.
Now we'll go back to the top of the order for Mississippi. Jamari Deese, right fielder, number 2. He popped out in the first. And we'll see if he can take advantage of these 3 base runners for Mississippi. This head, Hill comes into the plate. Bang, bang play here as number 42, the catcher, Polite, does get to the ball, makes a toss back to Hayes, but Hayes is unable to control it to try to get Clay Hill out. So there's another run that scores for Mississippi. That'll bring the score 3-1. Big play there at the plate. Clay charging in, slide under, real close if Hayes had been able to come up with the pitch from Polite. But it goes in Mississippi's favor. They now lead 3-1. This ball's low and outside. Runners advance. Holder now at third, and Matthews. as waits the next pitch from Hayes. It's also low and outside, and that'll bring your count 3-0. Deese gets some instructions from his third base coach. I imagine they're going to ask him to hold off on this one and see what happens. Hayes comes, sets, delivers, and gets the call. Now 3-1. This one is looped over to right field. Will it stay fair?
We got it.
And it's caught for the third out. So Keyshawn Hayes, Georgia, Buchanan's place on the pitcher's mound and does a good job of getting 3 batters out, but in between with one wild pitch or a pass ball. I'm not sure how that was ruled. We'll check with the scorekeeper to see. Regardless, Mississippi gets their third run of the game as Clay Hill crosses. And Georgia will get ready to come up here in the top of the third.
Thank you, bud. That should be, you had 3, right? 12? Yep. All right, bye.
Folks, we appreciate you joining us on JockJive today. A reminder that you can receive scores, view brackets, teams, and much more with BWS. Download it today from wherever you get your apps, maybe Google Play or the Apple App Store. Go to dybws.org for more information. We appreciate you tuning in. This is Mike Vaughn with you here today. It's a special day for me. I'm going to tell you about someone here a little bit later that are honoring day of August 2015 as we get ready for more action here in the Majors Division at the Dixie Youth World Series.
Number 22, Cade McNeil.
All right, and we see who will step in for Georgia now.
Moody.
This is Isaac Moody coming to his first opportunity to bat for Georgia today here in the top of the third. Drew Tucker releases and delivers outside. It bounces to the fence. Tucker so far has performed well, keeping Georgia to only 1 run. He's had 1 out and 2 walks. Delivers the second pitch. Another ball bounces to the screen as he works against Isaac Moody, now 2-0. Isaac Moody not occupying a fielding position, one of the extra batters for Georgia as he awaits the 2. And it's a brings it to 2-1. Drew Tucker keeping our action moving today as he delivers now 3-1 versus Isaac Moody. Our score here, Georgia 1, Mississippi 3 of the third. Moody gets some contact on that ball, but it's going to go to the right side, foul. Back in and away. It's right down the middle. Moody fights it off again to the right side, a little bit behind Tucker's delivery, and the count remains full. The payoff pitch. Moody gets to the second and to first for the putout. That is the first out here in the top of your third inning.
Georgia, number 2, Javarian Buchanan.
Nice play that time by the second baseman, number 17, Clay Hill, as he delivers to Parker at first base for the first out. Here in the top of the And now Jabarian, number 2, steps in for Georgia. And the count goes 2-0 on the delivery by Tucker. First appearance, batter, and a called strike. The count now 2-1. Georgia working to catch up from this 3-1 deficit. A swing and a miss by Jabarian Buchanan. And so far, Drew Tucker rolling here in the top of the third. The wind, the delivery, a little bit low and inside there. That ball had some movement on it coming from Buchanan's left into the plate. Didn't quite get there close enough to the strike zone. This one right, but as the home plate umpire gives Buchanan his first base.
Now batting for Georgia, number 24, Christian Tolliver.
That's the third walk issued by Tucker so far here in 3 innings. As now Christian Tolliver steps in, he'll be the 12th batter to live as the Georgia team gets ready to go back to the top of their order. That's a called strike there by the home plate umpire. And the count 1-1. Tucker delivers a swing. He gets a piece of it. Let's see. It appeared that the umpire was pointing to first base, but I think that was just a called strike there, as Tolliver did go around on the pitch. It's now 1-2. As Denver Westbrook tried to contain it, and that strike called out at as Tucker racks up another K.
Now batting for Georgia.
This will take us back to the top of the order for Georgia. And Cameron Hopkins will come up. He grounded out in the first inning. Now 2 outs here in the top of the third as Tucker delivers outside. Number 3, Cameron to third base during that pitching change in the last inning. He came back in from center field, moved over to third as Buchanan moved out to center field to take Hayes' position. Tucker now delivers, and it'll be 2-0 as he faces Hopkins for the second time. The 2-0 pitch is now low and away. That makes it 3-0. As Buchanan has now moved over to second base. And another walk issued by Drew. Steps in. It's always tricky for a catcher. They don't know if they're going to make it out there. They keep the pads on. He now takes off his shin pads. Hands him as he gets ready to step in to keep this inning alive for Georgia. They do have a base runner on second with 2 outs. Polite will step in. He flied out last time that he was up in the first inning. He gets the bat on the ball to the second baseman, over to first, and that ends the inning. Mississippi lead 3-1 after the top of the third. We appreciate you joining us today here in Lexington, South Carolina, especially these 2 teams, that Albany, Georgia, Mississippi. We encourage you to stay tuned all weekend for all the great action here from Lexington and the Lexington County Recreational Complex here. We're at Field 14, also known as the Brad Papa Smurf Wesson Field, and we appreciate you joining us. This being a special day for me, a good friend of mine, Captain John David Hortman, was killed in a tragic helicopter crash 4 years ago today. Captain Hortman was a member of the SOAR Elite Chopper Squadron, served time in Iraq, and defend his country in a very difficult time. We honor Captain Hortman today and continue to lift up his family now 4 years after his passing. I got to know Captain Hortman through an organization that many of you are probably familiar with, the Boys State organization. We both served together in what we call Palmetto Boys State here in North Carolina. And we remember Captain Hortman's family today and appreciate the sacrifice of not only Captain Hortman, but so many men and women that serve our great country every day, allowing us the freedom to do the things that we love, like enjoying Dixie World Series baseball right here on JockJive. As we get ready for the bottom of the third,
number 20, Preston Morris.
We'll have the center fielder, Preston Morris, step in. The last time Morris was up in the first inning, he popped out for the second out of the first inning, and now he stands in and awaits Hayes' pitch. Good rip back to the pitcher's mound. Unfortunately, it's off of Hayes' leg. Umpire will go out to check on him. The ball bounces, fortunately for Georgia, bounces over toward first base. The first baseman for Georgia, Moody, is able to come up with the ball, and he beats Preston Morris to the bag for the first out. We're fortunate here in our booth to have some good air conditioning today. The fans out to our left and our right are all fanning very much. There is high temperatures here today. We do have a nice breeze blowing in from left field. The coaches come out and check on Hayes. His other players come in and encourage him, but he's going to stay in the pitcher's position as Tolbert comes in for Mississippi. He walked in the first inning. Oh! And this one comes in strong right into Tolbert's back as the umpire goes out to check the ball. So on the first pitch, Tolbert gets a free base. Looks like he's holding his left arm, but I think he's going to be okay. Hayes comes over to shake his hand. You love to see that sportsmanship at this age, folks, and that's what it's all about. As Hayes comes over and lets him know that that was not an intentional act. Tolbert getting checked out at first base. Looks to be okay.
Number 10, Jack Parker.
And now Jack Parker will stand in with one out here in the bottom of the third as Hayes winds. That's going to be outside. The last time up, Parker, the left-handed batter, ripped to the right field for Mississippi. They added the second and now lead 3-1 over Georgia. Parker looking to do more damage as he has one base runner on. Cole Tolbert in front of him. Now Parker calls time. Is 2-1. Hayes winds and delivers. Big swing and a miss by Parker. Looked like he was looking at that right field fence again on that one. The count goes to 2-2. This is shaping up to be a nice battle here between Hayes and Parker. A little bit more heat than predecessor. He delivers. This one popped up to the left side. The shortstop drifting back. It's in foul territory, and he's not able to get there. I tell you what, the second baseman, Bryant, number 7, for Georgia, has a wide range across this field. He's made 2 great attempts there, moving to his right and attempting pop flies over near the left field line, and shows some great promise for his future there in the shortstop position. Parker steps back in. Number 10 wanting to do some more damage. And I've been corrected. The shortstop, Bryant, the young lady that I defended myself. Appreciate the folks helping me here in the booth. I guess I get a little mixed up sometimes wishing there was a – and Parker, another one, deep right field, but it's hauled in by the right fielder, number 22, James. Antonio James makes a nice play, keeping that one.
Mississippi, Cody Bay.
He was within just a few feet of that right field fence again. Parker with 2 long drives, one for an out and one for a 2-run homer. Now stepping in, Cade May, his first time up, he reached on a walk. And Hayes looks to be settling in here, providing some good pitching for his team. This one a little outside. It'll be called a ball. Number 31, Cade May, holding down third base for his team today. Batter steps. Mississippi looks to try to extend their lead. Hayes comes with the pitch. It's a little inside. The snap throw gets away from the first baseman. Now Talbert on his way to second. He will hold there as the relay comes back in all the way over to third. Talbert, of course, on the walk when he was hit. Pitch now, errant throw from the catcher, makes his way over to second base. And Mississippi again has a runner in scoring position. Cade May steps back in. This one's right down the middle for a strong strike by Keyshawn Hayes. And the count comes full, 3-2. The payoff pitch from Hayes. A swing, it looks like it's going to drift foul over the right field foul line. Some young fans out there scurrying to pick the ball up, help out their teammates, keep this game moving along as Hayes comes set. Another payoff pitch, a swing and a miss, and that will be strike 3 out for Mississippi. So Georgia has a little trouble defensively here in this inning, but they keep Mississippi off of the scoreboard. The score still 3-1, Mississippi leading Georgia here in the first round of the Majors Division. As Cade May strikes out there. All right, we'll have a pitching change for Mississippi as number 10.
Now pitching for Mississippi, number 10, Jack Parker.
Jack Parker comes in to pitch for Mississippi, number 10.
Program is available to
he moves over from first base, and we'll find out who takes his place in a moment. Looks like Drew Tucker has now moved over to first base. So Parker comes in for Tucker. And Mississippi looks to keep their 3-1 lead and keep Georgia from adding any more to the scoreboard.
Will be a senior next year. We encourage you to think about this opportunity. Many are glad they did.
As we head to the top of the fourth inning,
They both played their subs. Their sub down.
Not this one.
They had. They're still missing.
24.
Jack Parker getting his warm-ups now. Number 10, for Mississippi.
Georgia's got one left. I'm sorry. Okay. Mississippi's done.
Okay. After they do, you announce they've.
Folks, we appreciate you joining us here on the JockJive Network. You can view Dixie Youth World Series games all weekend right here. And we appreciate you being here with us. This is Mike Vaughn bringing you the action. Great team of folks here at the Lexington Ballpark Complex. They do a great job preparing these fields, gathering volunteers, and really building a great organization for the Dixie Youth World Series, Lexington, South Carolina. As Georgia's first batter steps in, it's a bunt, but then backs off. This is Jordan Buchanan. He pitched the first inning for Georgia, and his first time at bat was issued a walk. Now takes the second pitch outside. That'll be 2-0 as Buchanan gets ready for the third pitch. Jack Parker now facing his first batter as pitcher. He winds and delivers. And this one a called strike on the inside corner. The count 2-1 as Parker delivers again. Like the pitcher before him, he keeps action moving quickly here. The count now 3-1. The 3-1 pitch is a called strike. Count full. And we'll see if Buchanan will swing the bat here on this payoff pitch. It's called ball 4. Buchanan. And Georgia now has a base runner. That was Buchanan's second walk of the day. Keeping a good eye on the pitcher there. This will bring up Denver Bryant, number 7. This is the shortstop that I've been talking about, and she has done a great job so far today. She did have a ground out her first time at bat, but has been playing some great defensive baseball for Georgia. Waits the second swing, and the count will come even at 1-1. And what do we have here? The coach comes out, wants to talk just for a moment with Bryant, give her a little encouragement. And the Mississippi players will take that opportunity also to chat for a moment out at the mound. Parker, the pitcher, and catcher, Denver Westbrook, making sure they've got their signs together and make sure they're communicating correctly. The count now 1-1 as Bryant gets ready to step back in. Parker comes set. The delivery, a swing and a miss. That's going to make it 1-2. Parker delivers again, and another miss by Bryant. Not happy with herself, but the coach is trying to keep her encouraged. Obviously doing a great job at the position top today.
Now batting for Georgia, number 11, Caleb Dowell.
That will bring up Caleb Dowell. Caleb walked his first time up in the second inning and was the lone scorer for Georgia. Their one run now against Mississippi's 3 as Dowell steps back in for the second pitch. It's going to be outside. And the count now 2-0 as Parker faces Caleb Dowell, the first baseman. A swing and a miss will bring the count to 2-1. Jack Parker coming on today to relieve Drew Tucker, who had 3 innings of strong pitching for the Mississippi Ball Club. Another swing and a miss for Caleb Dowell. The count now 2-2. As Dowell steps back in. Parker delivers and strikes Dowell out. That's going to be 2 strikeouts. Along with a walk. Jordan Buchanan still Lonely over at first base, hoping for additional base runners as number 14, Keyshawn Hayes, the current pitcher for Georgia, steps in. A big cut, swing, and a miss. That'll bring the count 0-1. Hayes provides from the pitcher's mound for his Georgia team and wanting to provide some power from the batter's box as well. The count now 1-1, that last pitch outside. Last time up, Hayes had a nice base hit up the middle. Now another swing and a miss. That'll make it 1-2. And Keyshawn Hayes chases a pitch on the inside and strikes out as Jack Parker walks the first one, then strikes out the side to end things for Georgia's offensive attempt there in the fourth inning. As we go to half of the fourth inning, Mississippi still leads 3-1.
Sportsmanship is playing hard to win, but realizing all cannot become winners. It is always be a gracious loser and even more a gracious winner. Good sportsmanship involves such matters as fair play, keen rivalry, but careful observance of rules, courtesy, and a gracious toward an opponent. Palmetto Health Children's Hospital.
Folks, some more games coming up today. Right now, in the Majors Division, South Carolina is facing Tennessee over on Field 10. At 5:45 today, you'll see Alabama go up against Florida, and Virginia face North Carolina on Field 14, the Brad Papa Smurf Wesson Field. And at 8 o'clock tonight in the Majors Division, Louisiana will take on Arkansas on Field 10. Of course, lots of other action going on across this Lexington County Recreational Complex. We hope that you'll stay tuned to JockJive all weekend long for great World Series action. Some other exciting news this summer as the Lexington County Blowfish right across the street made a successful first season here as they moved over from Columbia to Lexington County. A nice new stadium. We hope that you'll get to visit Lexington and see this great baseball stadium. The opening ceremony for the World Series were held at the new Lexington County Baseball Stadium. And the Blowfish now making some hay in their CPL playoffs. That's the Coastal Plain League. And the Blowfish look to continue as they've now made it to the second round. We'll have some more information on the Blowfish as we continue. We get ready now. Here in the bottom of the fourth inning, Hayes comes, sets, and delivers the first pitch. Wade does get a piece of it. Of course, that's Carson Wade, number 44. Had a base hit his first time up. Now faces an 0-1 pitch. Hayes delivers. And another. Wade seemed to step a little bit to his left there. Maybe a little bit nervous against this Keyshawn Hayes, who has been bringing some heat here for the 2 innings that he's pitched for us. Now in his third inning as pitcher. Comes set, delivers. And that one is low and away. The count 1-2. Carson Wade, one of the extra batters for Mississippi, stands in, awaits the pitch. Looked like he got a piece of that one as the ball comes back to the fence. The polite catcher, I guess we could say the polite catcher, Dave comes back, gathers the ball. Hayes shakes off a sign here, wants to throw something else. He delivers, and this ball is ripped to the second baseman. He does come up with it. And over to number 1, Moody, for the putout. That'll be your first out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Now batting for number 4, Denver Westbrook.
Denver Westbrook stands in now. He flied out in the first inning, that big first inning, when Mississippi took the 2-run lead. Georgia came back in the next inning to get their first run, and now themselves behind 3-1. Nice cut there, but he doesn't find the ball, and it'll be 0-1. Hayes is settling in here now, finding his groove, calls timeout, wants to talk to the catcher. Maybe getting mixed up a little bit here on a couple of signs. In the last batter, Hayes shook off a couple of signs from his catcher. Number Westbrook. It looks like they've got things straightened out as Denver Westbrook steps back in. Gets a piece of this one, but it's fouled off to the right side. And the count remains 0-2. Hayes comes set. Delivers a little bit high for Westbrook. That's going to make it 1-2. One out here in the bottom of the fourth as Mississippi leads 3-1. Hayes delivers. It's over Hayes' head. Bryant comes up with it, makes the throw, but it gets away from the first baseman. But it looks like Westbrook will stay at first, not wanting to take a chance on trying to get over to second. Denver Bryant makes a nice stab from the shortstop position. She throws over to first, a bouncer, and the first not able to come ball. So it remains one out, one man on, as Clay Hill steps into the batter's box. And he butts it down the third base line, trying to advance the runner. The throw to first, and he's safe. Nice play. Catches the Georgia defense a little bit off guard, although the third baseman, the third baseman is now Cam. He did make a great run to collect that ball, but not to first in time.
Number 29, Dawson Holder.
So now back-to-back base hits for Mississippi, and they threaten again. As we have Westbrook on second and Clay Hill on first. Dawson Holder now steps in, number 29. A base hit his last time up. He fouls this one down the left line here. And the third baseman, number 3, Cameron Hopkins, collects it, gets it back to Keyshawn Hayes. Georgia trying to keep Mississippi off of the scoreboard again here in the bottom of the fourth. This one low and away. Catcher may keep that one from getting to the screen. That would have advanced the runners. Dawson Holder, number 29, the left fielder, steps back in. The right-handed batter awaits. Again, this one's low and away. It does get away from the catcher, and the runners advanced. Westbrook now on third. Clay Hill ends up at second with only one out here in the bottom of the fourth. Dawson Holder now has an even better opportunity to help his team out with a base hit. He awaits the delivery from Keyshawn Hayes. A swing and a miss. That's going to bring the count to 2-2 as number 2, Deese, comes over to the on-deck circle. There's a called strike and a strikeout for Hayes as Dawson Holder didn't agree, but nonetheless back to the dugout.
Now batting for Mississippi.
And now we go back to the top of the order for Mississippi as they batted through their extra batters. We will go back to Jamari Deese, number 2, the right fielder. Adding a little extra oomph on that last delivery. Number 14 trying to keep this hitter from doing any more damage. Jamari Deese has popped out twice so far today. And he fouls this one back over the screen. That's going to bring your count to 1-1. Hayes delivers. Wants to get the ball checked out here. And D steps back in. The wind, the pitch. It's a ball. Umpire says low and away. It's going to bring the count to 1. Runners in scoring position. Deese with a great opportunity here. The pitch, it's back up the middle. Hayes gets a glove on it, gets over to first, but it's not contained. 1 run will score. A second run. Oh, close play at the plate. The umpire calls him. That's scoring all second base. It was a bang-bang play. Gets in under the tag. Coach Tony Moody will come out for Georgia to discuss this play. Felt like his catcher had the plate blocked and had everything in order. Umpire explaining to Coach Moody that the player successfully, and that'll bring in 2 more runs for Mississippi as they add to their lead now 5-1. That ball laced back to Hayes at the pitcher's mound. He was able to contain it, get a glove on it, made the throw over to Moody at first, but Moody not able to come up with it. And we've got 1 runner at first. As Morris comes up, sends one to the right field fence, but it's collected for the 3rd out. So Georgia avoids any more damage there, but they go down now 4 as Mississippi leads 5-1. Preston Morris with the fly out for the here as Jamari Deese awaited at first base.
Coaches,
but Morris unable. Morris unable to get that runner advanced to do any more damage for Mississippi. Looks like Jack Parker will continue to occupy the mound for the Mississippi team. Drew Tucker coming over to, correction, that's Talbert as he gets ready to head out to the field. This Mississippi team with things well in hand right now with the 5-1 lead.
Sportsmanship is one of the goals of Dixie Youth Baseball. At times we see good sportsmanship displayed by everyone except some of the adults.
We're going to have right fielder Antonio James, number 22, coming up as the leadoff batter for Georgia here in the top of the 5th.
They sit in the stands cheering for their favorite team. Be a good example of sportsmanship. Be a good fan. Be cheering on your team and not against the other.
The announcer here in Lexington reminding us to display great sportsmanship, and as you listen across the nation here on JockJive, would remind you that it's always great to be a good sportsman. We hope that there in your living room or on your phone, wherever you're listening today or watching our broadcast on JockJive, that you will keep the same sportsmanship that our players strive to display here on the field. Earlier we saw the pitcher for Georgia hitting a Mississippi player with the first pitch, and he came over at first base to shake hands and let him know it was not intentional. Obviously in baseball we see that happen from time to time as a pitch gets out of control. But it's great to see these players displaying great sportsmanship, as well as the coaches, parents, and fans. Folks, we appreciate you joining us as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Mississippi trying to keep things under control here as Georgia wants to close this 4-run deficit that they face as number 22 for Georgia steps back in. Antonio James struck out his first attempt in the second inning. James playing right field today. Now gets a base hit on the first pitch out to right field. Jumps on that pitch early by Parker and will be the first base runner for Georgia in quite a while. Greg Lott, the second baseman, stands in, takes the first pitch low and away. The count 1-1. James struck out his first attempt back in the second inning. Takes another pitch low and away. Snap throw over to first. Trying to catch Antonio over there. Not able to apply in time. And now Greg Lott faces the next pitch. Again, outside as Parker struggling a little here in the fifth to find that strike zone. The count will be 3-0. This one comes in low and inside. And Georgia will have two base runners as the next batter comes to the plate.
Now batting for Georgia, number 8, Alex Ingram.
Alex Ingram steps in. Gets the bat on the ball over to first base. Tucker is able to gather it. The first out of the ball game. But the runners do advance. You could put that down as a sacrifice by Alex Ingram if you wanted to. Oh, hold on a second. Maybe they're going to call this foul as Ingram comes back to the plate. Nope, we were right. We were right the first time. The ball stayed fair, and the first baseman, Tucker for Mississippi was out. Now we go back to the top of the order. Cameron Hopkins, number 3, steps in for Georgia. As Georgia trying to do some damage with these two base runners. Rips one to left field. This will score at least one. As the left fielder comes up with the ball, Holder makes a nice play to get that one back and keeps the scoring down to just one. As number 22 comes across, Antonio James adds another run for Georgia, brings it to 5-2 now. Georgia still with two base runners on the field, one at first, one at third. As Hopkins comes through with a to left field and gets this Georgia crowd excited. They're excited to see some performance here from their team as we await the next batter. Number 42, Damon Polite, the catcher. Sometimes it takes the catcher just a little bit longer to get out if he's having to take off some pads. Cut, but fouls the ball off to the right side. Jack Parker looking to shut down these Georgia team and not allow any more runs here in the top of the fifth. Cameron Hopkins now 1-1 with a walk. For 2 with a walk. As Polite takes the next pitch. The count now 1-1. Parker delivers, and it's low and away. It'll bring the count 2-1. Polite wanted to keep this scoring momentum going here in the top of the fifth. He gets it through past the first baseman. And another run scores. They get the ball into the shortstop. Still runners at the corner. As number 6, Greg Lott scores for Georgia. That'll make it 5-3 as Georgia keeps gnawing away at this Mississippi lead. Jordan Buchanan, our original pitcher for Georgia, now steps into the batter's box. The fielders for Mississippi exchanging some notes here on how they're going to defend this position. Buchanan squares to bunt. The throw to first, they've got a runner held up. Now a runner tries to get to third. They throw back to second. The ball going all over the infield here, and somehow Mississippi keeps runners from scoring, although the base runner at first does finally make his way over to second base. So now runners at second and third. Polite went halfway to second before he held up, trying to get that runner home. Cannon swings and misses. It's now 0-2. Georgia needs this base runner to keep things alive. Oh, and a called strike 3 as Parker strikes him out. That's the 4th strikeout for Parker.
Now batting for Georgia, the cleanup hitter, number 7, Denver Bryant.
Now Denver Bryant, the shortstop, comes in. She struck out her last time up. Wanting to make up for that, laces one right up the middle. This will score at least 1 as the runner from second now making his way, and no throw home. That scores 2. And Georgia has tied the ball game up here in the top of the 5th, showing that you never say never and never give up here in Dixie Youth World Series baseball.
Now batting for Georgia, number 11, Caleb Dowell.
A nice base hit by Denver Bryant. She was frustrated on the strikeout in the last inning and makes up for it in a big way here with 2 RBIs in the top of the 5th. Now with 2 outs, a tie score at 5-5 in the 5th as Caleb Dowell steps in. Dowell now finds himself behind 0-2. Jack Parker working to get this 3rd out here in the 5th. Oh, thought he had the 3rd strike right there, but doesn't get the call. He was ready to start the trot over to the dugout, but he's going to have to throw again. A swing and a miss. That'll be your 3rd strike and 3rd out as Mississippi stops the bleeding here in the 5th, keeping the score tied 5-5, and they will come out and try to regain the lead as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Top of the 5th. Mississippi 5, Georgia 5.
Big inning there for Georgia. Jack Parker adds his 5th strikeout there in the top of the 5th. And it looks like we'll have Cole Tolbert coming back up for Mississippi, number 6, the shortstop. He has walked twice, was hit by a pitch in the last, and now has an opportunity to try to get his team back on top. As a reminder, folks, we have Dixie Youth Baseball for you all weekend long. Hope that you'll have the opportunity to tune in. Going on right now on some other, the AAA division, games being played right now, South Carolina versus Florida, and Tennessee versus the host Lexington team. And also happening right now in the 3:30 time slot, the Ozone division, Virginia facing Alabama, and Florida facing Mississippi. Those obviously have fields right here. It's Georgia facing Mississippi. As Georgia takes the field here in the bottom of the 5th, Mississippi looking to regain their lead. Georgia with a big inning, scoring 4 in the top of the 5th and bringing this to a tie ball game. These kids really work back from a deficit, especially a 4-run deficit. Georgia not giving up, working hard to bring this game back. It's going to be exciting here as we go to the bottom of the 5th. Tolbert comes in. His last 2 times up to bat, as I mentioned, he was walked. He was hit by a pitch by Keyshawn Hayes. And we have a new pitcher for Georgia as number 7 comes in to throw. This is Denver Bryant. She moves over from shortstop, having a little bit of a hard time finding that strike zone, as now she goes 2-0 against her first batter, Tolbert. Both this pitcher and this batter accomplished at the shortstop position. Both playing shortstop today now before Bryant moves over to pitcher here in the bottom of the fifth. And throws 4 straight balls here against her first batter.
Batting for Mississippi, number 10, the pitcher, Jack Parker.
The wind and the toss from Bryant to Jack Parker is a ball. Of course, Parker in the first inning with a big 2-run homer to get things started for Mississippi. He flied out almost home run of the day, his last time up in the 3rd inning, and now faces Bryant with a 2-0 count. It's going to be 3-0 with the runner going to second. Oh, man. Shortstop number 3 for Georgia, Cameron Hopkins, collected that ball, reached back, and looked like him, but it was close as the umpire calls Tolbert safe at second. Mississippi will now have 1 runner at second as Jack Parker will step back in. Coach Moody comes out to talk with the second base umpire, wanting to confer with the third base umpire. Coach Moody contends that Cameron Hopkins was able to swing his arm and make the tag before Tolbert got to the bag. Even though Hopkins was a good ways away from the bag, it appeared that he did have the opportunity to swing the tag. Of course, from our vantage point, it's very difficult to see if the tag was actually applied. Now all 3 umpires will get into the mix here and talk this over. Actually, 4 umpires. They want to make sure, and I agree with it, make sure that the call was right. The score is tied. Both of these teams working hard to produce their first win here in this tournament. And they're going to go back, and they keep the same call after they confer. The call is safe as at second base. Jack Parker will step back in now as Bryant collects her thoughts and gets ready for the 3-0 pitch. The wind, the delivery, it's low, and it's going to be ball 4 as Parker makes his way down to first. So now 2 walks in the bottom of the 5th. Cade May steps in. As Bryant delivers pitch number 2. This one looked a little bit better, looked a little bit close, and you hear some of the Georgia fans wanting to know where the call was there. It's 1-1 as May, the third baseman, steps in. Another called strike as Denver Bryant starts finding this strike zone now. 1-2 against May. May walked and struck out in his first 2 attempts. Now a swing and a miss. That'll be another strikeout. And Denver Bryant breathes a sigh of relief there as she gets her first out of this 5th inning. Still 2 runners on for Mississippi with 1 out. Wade comes in to bat for Mississippi, gets the bat on the ball, but it's going to go foul down the right line. Wade had a big base hit in the first and a ground out in the 4th. Led off the 4th inning with the ground out. Bryant gets her sign, delivers a breaking ball, catches Wade off balance there, and another strike. Denver Bryant finding her groove here as the count is 0-2. She delivers, and another strikeout for Denver Bryant, now taking control here with her second strikeout. 2 walks and 2 strikeouts here in the bottom of the 5th.
Mississippi. Number 4, the catcher, Denver Westbrook.
Denver Westbrook now stands in for Mississippi. Flied out in the first. Flied out in the first and a big base hit in the 4th. There, a swing and a miss. On the first pitch, the count 0-1 as Bryant winds and delivers. This one low and outside. The count goes 1-1. Bryant is fun to watch. She wears her expressions on her face. That one she thought was a little bit closer than the umpire thought. Another swing and a miss. The count now 1-2. Bryant looking to close this bottom of the 5th inning out with 3 strikeouts. Can she pull it off? Westbrook has to say about that. Gets a little piece of that one to knock it foul and keeps the count alive. Bryant charges in to check on her catcher. As number 42, Polite, that one looked like it was maybe fouled off. Fouled off of his throwing hand as Coach Moody comes in to check on him. A minute just to collect himself. Get a drink of water. Denver Westbrook got a small piece of that ball, enough to send it back, and unfortunately fouled it off either the hand or the wrist. Polite's done a great job handling some wild pitches today as Georgia works to keep Mississippi off the board now that they've battled back to tie this ball game up 5-5. Very thankful for the crew here in the press box today, our scorekeeper, our PA announcer, and our official scoreboard provider, protector. They're all doing a great job, as well as all the folks here at Lexington County Recreation Complex that are working so hard to bring you this Dixie Youth World Series. Very thankful for the men and women who give up their time and work hard to make a special event for these young men and women that love to play the game of baseball. Denver Bryant now gets back to the mound. It looks like Polite has collected himself, trying to shake off that right hand. It's going to be a little bit sore for the next day or two probably. And Westbrook steps back in. Bryant delivers the big strikeout for the 3rd out. She walks the first 2 batters but comes back strong, finds the groove, and strikes out 3 in a row to end Mississippi's hopes here in the 5th inning. We're going to go to the 6th inning, folks. All knotted up at 5.
Mississippi, 5. Georgia.
All right. This inning will decide it. We'll see who can figure things out here in the 6th inning as Georgia gets ready to come back and try to score some runs to take a lead. They've not had a lead all day today. They went down 0-2 in the 1st inning. They battled back in the 2nd to put 1 run on the board, and then with the big 5th inning, added 4, tied up. Mississippi scoring so far. They scored 2 in the 1st behind that big home run by Jack Parker over the right field fence, scoring 2. They added another in the 3rd and 2 more in the 4th, and that brings you to the score right now, 5-5. As a reminder, folks, you can receive scores, view brackets, get more information about all these great teams here at the Dixie Youth World Series with the DYBWS mobile app. Check out your app store today and download this great app to keep you updated on all the great activity, scores, and events going on with the Dixie Youth World Series. To find out more about our tournament here this week, go to dys.org for more information. We appreciate you joining us on JockJive. It looks like Tolbert, number 6, Cole Tolbert, he's been in at shortstop. He comes in to pitch now, taking the place of Parker. Jack Parker with a great performance for 3 innings today, as after he took the place of Drew Tucker, who was the leadoff pitcher for Mississippi. Now Tolbert moves over from shortstop. Tolbert has, as far as his batting position, walked 3 times. That second time that he walked, he was hit by the first pitch from Keyshawn Hayes. It was a stinger, but it looks like he's recovered and is ready to take the mound for Mississippi. Make sure we get our notes adjusted here so we can remember who's where. It's great to see players get the opportunity to play different positions and move around as the coaches try to make the best decision that they can here in a World Series environment to produce the best results for their team. Obviously, you're not going to travel as far as these teams travel without the hope of putting out your best team and coming away with a win here, especially in the first round of this Majors division. Mississippi now awaits the first batter to come up as Coach Ronnie Tolbert from Mississippi comes out to check on his pitcher. If you remember, I told you that Tolbert was hit back in the third inning on the first pitch when he faced Keyshawn Hayes. They're checking his glove for some reason, making sure that the glove is okay. Maybe he had an extra frayed piece of leather or something hanging off there. They take care of that really quickly, and now we'll get ready for more action here in the top of the 6th.
Batting for Georgia, number 14, Keyshawn Hayes.
Keyshawn Hayes will come in to bat. Of course, he spent a few innings pitching for Georgia today before he was replaced by Denver. Inning. Drives the first pitch foul. It'll be 0-1. Sorry, 0-2. They snuck one by me there. Tolbert's moving even faster than the 2 pitchers before him. As Hayes in for pitch number 0-2. This one low brings the count to 1-2. Hayes trying to put his team up for the first time today. Looking for the base hit. Pops this one foul. And Mississippi makes their way over to try to make a play, but it's going to get out of the ballpark before they have an opportunity. That one will fall foul, and the count remains 1-2. Hayes just a little bit behind that one. Had a good cut, but not able to keep it between the lines. Winds and delivers again. Another nice pitch there with some good movement. Hayes able to foul it off to the left side. And a swing and a miss for the strikeout. Tolbert with the big sits down Keyshawn Hayes.
Now batting for Georgia, number 22, Antonio James.
Now Antonio James will come in. Struck out his first at bat and had a big base hit his last time up. Now into right field, it's going to drop in for a base hit. Fielder having a little bit of hard time with the sun there. And James, the first base runner here in the top of the 6th.
Georgia, number 6, Greg Lott.
The second baseman, Greg Lott, will now come in. Has a base hit and a walk. His base hit in the second. Trying to make it to second. That base hit was thrown out. Checks his swing, but it's still a called strike. And now it'll be 0-2 as Antonio James waits out at second.
Now batting for Georgia. Number 8, Alex Ingram.
That's going to be 2 outs here in the top of the 6th as Ingram steps back in. Ingram with a ground out his last time up. Rips one down the right field foul line, but it will go foul. Nice contact on the ball. Number 8 trying to advance this runner that's on first as Greg Lott waits. Talbert now back to the mound. Winds and delivers. Inside as Ingram ducks to avoid that one. The next pitch comes low and away. It'll be 2-1. A swing and a miss. That'll even the count. 2-2. Talbert brings the heat inside there. Nice pitch. And Ingram chases. And a strikeout recorded for Talbert, ending Georgia's hopes here in the top of the 6th. Mississippi comes back up here in the bottom of the 6th with an opportunity to win this one here in the first round of your Majors division. Folks, it's been a pleasure being with you here today on JockJive. We hope that you'll tune in all week long, all the way to the finals of your Dixie Youth Tournament. The finals here for the Majors
Southern Sports is the official
will be Thursday, August the 13th. That seems like a long time away. There'll be a lot of baseball played between now and then.
games in this tournament. Place your order for team plaques and a DVD of all your games today. The Southern Sports photo booth is located between fields 7 and 8. Southern Sports, nobody covers Dixie like we do.
A long game. Where's your home run form there?
They didn't give me one. I didn't have one like I did last year.
As we get ready for this bottom half of the Bryant back on the mound for Georgia. As she finished the last inning with 3 strikeouts, she faced 5 batters. Clay Hill will be the leadoff batter for Mississippi here in what might be our final inning. Mississippi can get a lead. Ball inside. The 1-0 pitch comes in. Now it'll be 2-0. See if keep the same group end of last inning. Another went away. That brings the count to 3-0. A walk here would be very dangerous for Mississippi. This one in the dirt. And Clay Hill will be issued a walk on 4 straight pitches.
Now batting for Mississippi.
Left fielder Dawson had a big base hit back in the 2nd inning. Struck out in the 4th. And now back up trying to advance Clay Hill, the winning run here in the bottom of the 6th. Squares the bunt, gets the bunt down. It's good. The throw to first is in time. Clay Hill advances second base. It was a strong off the dirt just onto the grass. Denver Bryant makes a nice play to come all the way in from the mound. She is able to get the ball over to first to Moody for the first out.
Leadoff man number 2, Jamari Deese.
That will sacrifice for Dawson Holder as Deese now steps in with a strike on the first pitch. Second pitch comes, he fouls off. It'll go 0-2. Coach Talbert for Mississippi wanting Deese to get this runner over to third at the minimum. Deese for a game right here. As a player, that's something you dream of. Bryant packs a little bit extra in the punch there, but it falls just inside. Deese now awaits the 1-2 pitch. It's low and out, 2-2. Bryant moving at a very quick pace now here in the bottom of the sixth. Looks back at the runner on second. Comes just outside. She wanted that pitch. Felt like it had caught the corner, but the umpire says no. Back in now with the full. Bryant will come with the pitch. And called. Coach Moody will come out to talk to his team, make sure they've got the correct strategy. As there's one out here in the bottom of the sixth, one man on second. Clay Hill awaits his opportunity to try to score the on behalf of the Mississippi team and bring home this first win of the division round. The winner of this game will go on to face the winner of game number 4 tomorrow at 8 o'clock right here at Field 14. Hope that you'll be tuning in for that action tomorrow evening. The pitch comes, it's low and away. That's going to be another walk issued by Denver Bryant as Jamari Deese. First base, now first and second. Preston Morris comes up, the center fielder. He's had a pop out, a ground out, and a fly out. 0 for 3, wanting to get on this effort here, be a part of this effort to win this ball game. It only takes one here. Bottom of the sixth, Clay Hill is that winning run at second base. The pitch comes, and it's fouled back over the screen as the count evens 1-1. And a call there as Morris turns sure that he agrees with that one. 1-2 as young Mr. Morris, number 20, steps back in to try to make something happen for this Mississippi squad. Nice pitch right down the middle. Morris fights it off, and it's foul over the left sideline fence there. Some young being down to collect that ball, get it back so that it might be examined and reused. Bryant comes with the pitch. A swing and a miss. Morris wasn't sure about that one, but he goes through anyway. And it's going to be the second out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Talbert steps in now.
For Mississippi, number 6, Cole Talbert.
Talbert has had 3 walks, as we talked about earlier. He got hit by a pitch his second time up in the second inning. Now he laces one to left field. It's long, it's deep, and it's out of here. Home run, walk-off by Mr. Cole Talbert. He came in to pitch for his team in the last inning and now ends this ball game in huge fashion with a 3-run home run to bring it home for Mississippi. Folks, that's your ball game as Mississippi wins this one 8-5 here in the first round. What a way to finish this one with a big walk-off home run as Cole Talbert does big damage for his team.
Final score, Mississippi 8, Georgia 5.
Folks, it's been a pleasure being with you today here on JockJive. We hope you will tune in to all the action throughout the Dixie Youth World Series. And, of course, coming up next, you'll have Mississippi will advance to face the winner of Alabama and Florida tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And Georgia will move to face the loser of Game 4 tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. We appreciate you being with us and hope to have you back for more action here on JockJive. My name is Mike Vaughn. It's been a pleasure being with you. Congratulations to both teams on a well-fought battle here today. Georgia comes up short. They made a huge comeback to tie it at 5-5 in the 5th inning. But Mississippi, with a big 3-run walk-off home run by Cole Tolbert, they win it 8-5.
All right, presenting the home run ball, or balls. We have Jay Bennett, baseball vice president, Tommy Reeves, Mississippi State Director, and David Smith, Mississippi National Director. First, number 10, Jack Parker.
I'm just here to take it up when